All right, here we go. It's about to get real. It's about to be fun, but it ain't going to be real fun. Hey, everybody, Economic Ninja here. Bankruptcies are spiking. We're talking about businesses that are going bankrupt in America. They're spiking at an alarming rate, and we're going to talk about what the Fed may do here really shortly as everybody is praying, hoping, excited about a rate drop. I got to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to happen the way most people do. This story's out of Zero Hedge. And real quick, I want to remind everyone that owns crypto, you may want to check out. I think you're crazy if you don't check out the course we just built with a crypto CPA professional, a crypto fanatic, actually, down below. And I put together a bundle. It ends in a day, I believe. And it's that and Tax Planning 101. Those courses are on sale right now. U.S. businesses are going bankrupt at an absolutely blistering pace. It says, why is the number of bankruptcies in the United States rising so sharply? It isn't because the economy is doing well. Every day there are more news stories about businesses that have failed, and this is clearly reflected in the numbers. Now, we've talked about this a little bit in the recent past about how large companies like UPS and Amazon are laying off big swaths of employees. Some companies out there are citing AI. Some are citing different strategic changes or slowing business. And I did say about a month and a half ago that you're going to see in December more and more stories, jawboning, news headlines about companies coming out and saying, don't expect a lot out of this next quarter's earnings. The reason why is because they don't want their shareholders panic selling their stock and causing their stocks to crater because they need those prices high when it comes to loans that they've made out. Okay? And it says here, this story goes into explaining that the number of small businesses that are filing for sub-chapter 5 bankruptcy has set a brand new record high in 2025. It says here, a 6-year-old federal program designed to help the smallest American businesses cut debt and get a fresh start has set a record for a number of cases filed, court data shows. More than 2,200 people and small firms filed bankruptcy this year under the so-called subchapter 5 rules, which makes it cheaper and faster to win relief from creditors. According to data provider Ipquick Bankruptcy Analytics, they said creditors are just breathing down their necks, said Carol Fox, a court-approved trustee who oversees more than 24 cases filed in Southern Florida. She goes on to say that this is really bad news. Now, small businesses are traditionally the primary engine for job growth in this country. I believe wholeheartedly that small businesses are the backbone of our country's ingenuity, employment, keeping people employed. And that's why in 2026, I'm going to be flipping the tables a little bit, and we're going to be really building a bunch of small businesses around the country and encouraging people to become entrepreneurs, start and move into that little side hustle slot, just 1 day a week, maybe 2 days a week. Got a full-time job, you just go a little bit, right? And then build and build from there. And one of the ways is tax planning. I'm not joking. This is the number one thing that wealthy people will tell you. If you want to make a lot of money, you learn how to save a lot of money. And you do that through taxes. All right. That's the first one. Now it says here, large businesses now are going bankrupt at a very alarming pace as well. In fact, the first 7 months of this year, the number of corporate bankruptcies in the U.S. was at the highest level that we have seen since the early days in the pandemic. The U.S. saw a sharp increase in corporate bankruptcy filings in July, according to a recent report, reaching a post-COVID peak and placing 2025 on track to surpass last year's total. The S&P Global Market Intelligence, the research and data arm of the credit rating agency, found that the filings by large public and private companies rose to 71 last month from 66 in June, marking the highest month tally since July of 2020 so far in 2025. Meanwhile, the total of 446 bankruptcy filings is the highest for the 7-month stretch since 2010. And we all know from the at least all the boomers know, and Gen X's, can I get a amen? That 2010 marked really the lowest part of that Great Recession. And it says here, during a recent interview with Fox News, Nikki Haley's son admitted that not one single one of his friends that recently graduated from college has been able to get a job. He said, my friend group all graduated with great degrees in great schools, and not one of them has a job. Not one. This is a massive turning point for entrepreneurs, and the capitalism is under threat. It's very serious where we are right now, and it needs to be taken very seriously. Capitalism is what sets America apart from the rest of the world. Capitalism is amazing. Capitalism is great. But if governments continue like our government, what they did is allow failures, scoundrels, and thieves to get away with their crimes, like what happened in 2008, the Great Recession with the auto industry, the airline industry, and just pad them, because now these companies have become conglomerates, have become so big and so powerful, they just threaten the government, say, yeah, we can go bye-bye. All these people are going to lose jobs. They're the people that vote for you, and we're going to make you look really bad. That's where it gets really scary, and that's where capitalism starts to die slowly. And this should be taken very serious by all Americans, and quite frankly, by all humans around, watching America slowly go down the drain, the capitalism going down the drain. And they've even turned, and when I say they, I'm talking about the left, the complete crazy people, have turned this into a blame game. And most people that follow the left and vote that way couldn't even explain what the definition of capitalism is, let alone give you an example of what it is and why it's important. It says here, our society is changing at a pace that's difficult to comprehend. One tech worker that got laid off by Meta earlier this year still hasn't been able to find work. He said, when I got hired at Meta in 2020, it was life-changing for me. Or sorry, she. As a single mom, it represented safety and stability, a place to work hard at and retire from. So when I got let go in February, a round of layoffs aimed at low performers, it felt like a punch in the gut. Says here, she says, 9 months later, my severance and savings have run dry. I'm struggling to find a tech job. I want to ask you all a question. Type yes or no. Yes or no. Should you be dependent on your employer? I'll give you a second. As you're grabbing for your phone and typing in the comment, I want you to think about this. I was a full-time firefighter for 23 years, in the service for 26. I don't have a retirement. I walked away. I walked off the job because after 21 side hustles, side businesses, everything from selling candy as a kid to selling palm trees during the Great Recession to having a real estate brokerage, a construction company, and a lot of other things, I learned a couple of things: how to roll, flip money, then have to roll bigger and bigger amounts of money. But what I really learned was that the job doesn't owe me anything. And all I'm doing is wasting my life. Till that last one, that last side hustle where I started a financial education company. And I set out to change tens of thousands and soon to be hundreds of thousands of students' lives. That is what I'm fully going to fulfill in 2026. I highly suggest, if any of you own crypto, get a hold of that crypto tax course. 99% of CPAs don't understand crypto tax. You need to learn about this stuff now and how to save yourself. If you've never tax planned and you may think you're not in a position, I will teach you in a way where you'll get excited about it and start looking for more money and so that you could save more money. I hope you got something out of this. Thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.